Sometimes we wait for the perfect moment to change our lives. We tell ourselves we need a big plan, a major breakthrough, or some magical burst of motivation to finally begin. But real change doesn't always arrive in loud, dramatic ways. More often, it begins quietly, with a single choice. Repeat it again and again. A glass of water in the morning. One deep breath before opening your phone. A gentle sentence in your journal before bed. Tiny moments. So easy to skip. So quiet, they almost feel invisible. But when done with intention, those little things begin to stack. And over time, they start to shape who you are. Not overnight, but inevitably. Tonight, or maybe just in this quiet moment you're in right now, I want to share with you the gentle truth about small habits, and how they can become one of the most powerful forces in your life. Let's begin. Let me take you back to a quiet, simple image. Imagine a single drop of water falling gently onto a stone. At first, it seems meaningless, just one drop, light and fragile, landing on something solid and unmoving. It doesn't leave a mark. It doesn't make a sound loud enough to notice. It simply falls and disappears. But what if that drop comes back, again and again, every day, at the same spot, at the same rhythm? It still doesn't scream for attention, but slowly, without anyone really noticing, it begins to shape the surface of the stone. Over weeks, months, years, what once seemed impossible begins to happen. The stone is no longer untouched. It carries the mark of that quiet persistence. This image isn't just about nature, it's about us. You see, we often think change has to be big, loud, dramatic, like flipping a switch or climbing a mountain. But the truth is, the most powerful transformations in life rarely happen that way. They happen the same way the water changes the stone, quietly, patiently, through small acts that repeat themselves day after day. One glass of water each morning. One deep breath before reacting. One page read before bed. One kind thought toward yourself. These things don't feel like breakthroughs. In fact, most days, they might feel like nothing at all. But when done with intention, when chosen again and again, they become the rhythm of who you are. And just like that drop of water, they start to shape your habits, your mindset, and eventually, your future. We live in a world that loves instant results. Fast changes. Big wins. But if you've ever felt overwhelmed by that pressure, I want you to remember this: small doesn't mean weak. Quiet doesn't mean useless. And slow doesn't mean you're behind. Because when you give your small habits time, when you let them return, gently, patiently, day after day, they'll do something extraordinary. They'll shape you from the inside out. We often underestimate the power hidden in the smallest things: a passing thought, a single decision, just a few quiet minutes each day. These moments feel invisible, almost meaningless. But what they truly hold is momentum. You see, the brain is wired to love patterns. It's built to repeat what's familiar. So when you start doing something small, but consistently, your brain begins to accept it. It no longer feels like effort, it becomes part of your normal rhythm. Over time, that rhythm begins to shape more than just your behavior. It begins to shape your identity. You're not just someone who tries to read, you're someone who reads. You're not just a person drinking more water, you're someone who takes care of their body. These small habits become quiet proof that you're showing up for yourself, even when no one's watching. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to feel motivated every day. You just need to return. Show up again. Especially when it feels too small to matter, because that's when it matters most. True transformation doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. Tiny actions, repeated daily, shape who you are far more than one big effort done once. This is the quiet power of small habits. You don't need to change everything at once. Often, one small shift, done with care, can quietly lead you in a whole new direction. Let me share a few small habits that may seem simple, but over time, they create space, presence, and power in your daily life. Start by waking up just 10 minutes earlier. Not an hour, not a full morning routine, just 10 quiet minutes before the noise begins. Use that time to stretch, sip something warm, or simply sit in silence. It's not about doing more, it's about entering the day without rushing, without chasing, without already feeling behind. Write a single sentence in a journal each day. Don't worry about grammar, length, or even meaning. Just one thought, one feeling, one reflection. When you put something down on paper, no matter how small, you begin to hear your own voice again. And slowly, you learn to listen to yourself more deeply. Turn off all screens at least 30 minutes before you sleep. Let your mind return to quiet. The glow of a screen, the scroll of a feed, it keeps your brain alert, even when your body is tired. But when you replace that with stillness, maybe a book or soft music, you give your mind permission to rest, to reset. Sleep becomes softer. Your dreams become kinder. Say one kind thing to someone each day. A genuine compliment. A quiet thank you. A moment of noticing someone's effort. These small words plant seeds of connection, warmth, and trust. The world doesn't need more noise, but it could always use a little more kindness. Take one deep breath the moment you feel yourself getting angry. Just one. Not to suppress your feelings, but to meet them with space. That breath gives you a pause, a brief gap between the feeling and the reaction. And sometimes, that gap is all you need to choose peace instead of regret. And lastly, make your bed after you wake up. Just that. Smooth the blankets. Arrange the pillow. It's a small act of order, of intention. It tells your mind, I begin this day in control. And sometimes, in a world that feels unpredictable, even a tiny moment of control is deeply grounding. These are not rules. Not obligations. They're quiet invitations. Little ways to return to yourself, gently, day by day. Big changes often feel impossible at first, because we imagine them happening all at once. But the truth is, most transformation doesn't arrive like a storm. It arrives like sunlight, soft, quiet, and consistent. One small habit, done today, might feel like nothing. But done again tomorrow, and again the next day, it becomes something solid, something real. Just imagine who you could become if you kept showing up, not perfectly, not dramatically, just consistently. Imagine what would happen if you gave your habits 1 year, or even just 6 months, of quiet repetition. 10 minutes of reading each night becomes several books a year. A sentence a day becomes a journal full of your thoughts. One breath before reacting becomes emotional strength. The most powerful part isn't what you do, it's what you're building. Bit by bit, you're laying down the foundation of someone who's steady, focused, and aware. The kind of person who doesn't need permission to grow. The kind of person who trusts the process, even when results take time. So if you're wondering whether your small steps matter, yes, they do. Not because they're loud, but because they last. Not because they change everything overnight, but because they change you, quietly, every day. And if you keep going, one day, you'll look back and realize, you didn't just build better habits. You built a better version of yourself. You don't need to do everything today. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a beginning. One small thing. One quiet shift. One step toward the version of you that's been waiting, patiently, to be lived. Let it be light. Let it be simple. You don't have to change overnight. You just have to care enough to show up, again. Because showing up, even just a little, is an act of self-respect. And you deserve that. You've always deserved that. So take a breath. Choose one small thing. Do it not to be impressive, but to be gentle with yourself. And if you forget tomorrow, that's okay. Come back the next day. And the next. The path isn't perfect, but it's yours. And with each quiet step, you are becoming